For 9 months, between September 2021 and May 2022, 80 firms embarked on a special journey. The Gateway to Trade G2T Trinidad and Tobago Accelerator Export Readiness Program for SMEs, administered by the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition of Services Industries, TTCSI. The selected firms came from those subsectors that demonstrated the greatest potential for generating export earnings, namely business and events tourism services, business and professional services, energy services, and information and communications technology services. By the end of this journey, only 22 of them would make it through the rigorous program, becoming the vanguard in this country's thrust for economic diversification. Of the 22 successful firms in this first G2T cohort, 12 of them are very small, even tiny, comprising 10 or fewer persons, with many of them one-person operations. It is the TTCSI's intention to create a cadre of globally competitive services firms. Let us hear their stories as they expand their reach globally.
I am Alison Dimas. I'm the CEO and founder of Media Insight Limited.
My name is Kato Smith, and the name of my business is Twixalot Software Solutions.
Alison and Keita are 2 of the 22 graduates in the first cohort of the Trinidad and Tobago Coalition of Services Industries Gateway to Trade Accelerator Export Readiness Program for small and medium enterprises. TTCSI President Mark Edgell explains the intention of the initiative.
The overall objective of this campaign is to nurture and develop services sector firms that have the capacity to export. Our goal is to provide the services sector with the tools to inculcate an exporter's mindset, thereby enabling our members to grow and expand their businesses regionally and internationally. This is what the Gateway to Trade journey is all about.
The journey began with a 2019 survey of national and potential exporters. TTCSI's Chief Executive Officer, Vashti Gayadeen, says 6 subsectors were identified with the most potential for export. However, the program was customized with a more manageable number of subsectors.
For the first cohort of Gateway to Trade, we couldn't tackle all 6 sectors because, again, based on the Canadian team, they have not done such a wide cross-section of sectors. So we picked the 4 subsectors that, again, with the data that show the most potential, and those were business and events tourism, business and professional services, energy services, and ICT.
The Gateway to Trade program started with 80 companies in the selected 4 sectors. For those who stayed the course, the benefits are already accruing.
The tangible benefits are taking a more strategic look at marketing, because to do exports, of course, you have to be really solid when it comes to your marketing. We're redeveloping and strengthening our website, as well as really coming up with a unique value proposition and being able to really fine-tune exactly what services are on offer.
And I think the Gateway to Trade program provided and filled in a lot of blanks and now provides a template with which the company can move on to other territories as well, which I think is a key takeaway, a real tangible benefit, as it were, to participating in this program. And of course, there was no cost to the participants other than the will to do it and the time invested in it.
The website, I see that as a tangible asset that came out of it. My website has since improved, my social media has improved, and my content creation in terms of infographics and so forth, that has improved. I'm an introvert, so it's usually very difficult for me to form connections and, get new work. But I pushed myself, I went out there, and through the Gateway to Trade program and also through a few other conferences, I've been able to network with people who are in a similar field or with people who are not in a similar field but are looking for my services. And I was glad that they taught me how to navigate that space, because I did not have any experience in that before. I really genuinely just like to stay in my house.
Ms. Gayadeen gave some insight on the course construction.
9 full weeks of training on a weekly basis. So whereby they had 2 hours of training per week. That turned out to maybe being about 4 to 5 hours because you had homework, you had assignments, they met with their teams. For 2 days, we held a market connections activity where we were preparing them to go to market. There was sessions from the Exim Bank, from Export TT, as well as this provided them with the opportunity to network and as well as to learn about each other's business.
I think the modes by which one can export services stood out for me, because the key question was, how do you export this service? How do you go to Guyana or go to some other territory and do this? What the program did is added a lot more context as well. So we would know that we would have mode 2, which would be setting up an office. And then there would be others where you might go in with a person who is manufacturing, which I think is mode 5. So you can offer a service in addition to the product. And then there were things like intellectual property, which was huge. And then they talked about pricing and so on. So it's a few elements. Well,
The things that they taught me, I was able to apply in my real-world activities. For instance, there's SWOT analysis. When you're starting a new business, you don't think about a lot of these things. You just kind of go and you're working, but they really help you to sit down and think about your business. Things that you wouldn't usually come up with. So things you don't know that you should have known, and things that you kind of just put to the back of your mind and you don't think about until it's too late.
So those who are looking to export services, I would definitely recommend Gateway to Trade program.